You are listening to Author Assist on the Artist First Radio Network. All past shows are available in podcast form. You can pick them up at artistfirst.com. And now back to your host. It's Karina Kantas.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's hope the gremlins stay away from my second half of the show. Welcome to Author Assist Christmas Special. You know, I've been working in this industry for many years now, and the question that keeps getting asked is, how do I get sales? Well, the answer is straightforward, but can cost money. You can make people see your ad through social media sharing, through Amazon, through Facebook, newsletters, swaps, live appearances. Readers want to know who you are before they part with their hard-earned cash. It's not about buy my book promotions now. They want to see what they're going to get. They want to know that you can write. So by actually leaving excerpt of your writing that's inside the book, a string, a sentence, not the blurb, something from inside, something exciting, some cliffhanger, something graphic. Leave an excerpt with a beautiful picture of your cover so people can actually see that you can write, and then they'll decide whether or not they're going to buy your book. That was just a little tip from Author Assist. I'm here to help with all your promotion and marketing problems. You can contact me on Facebook or email me at kgantasauthorassist@gmail.com. Okay, I would like to welcome to the show Anne Charles. How are you doing there, Anne?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Are you ready for Christmas?
Just about. A couple more gifts to go, and then I'll be done. I'm ready to just have fun, finally.
I don't know if you listened to the first part of the show, but I'm throwing you in the deep end with a small Christmas quiz.
Oh, no, I did. I'm okay, so let's have it.
Okay, well, Christina did her 6 questions. You'll have 6. She only got 3 right. If you can beat the 3, then you'll get a narration, an excerpt narration done for you from Author Assist, from Kantas Narrations. We'll get to that quiz in a moment. You are award-winning author of humorous mysteries with romance and paranormal.
Right.
Let's talk about some of these books. I mean, how many books have you published? Because when I checked on Amazon, you've got like 5 different series. The Deadwood, I assume, was your first series, and you've got 10 books in just that series. So, I mean, how many have you published altogether so far?
I believe if you count novellas, like the Deadwood shorts, which is backstory parts and side stories of the main series, I think I'm at 27 books published now.
Wow,
so,
that's fantastic.
And 5 different series. You're right on that. So it's it keeps me out of trouble.
How long ago was it when you first wrote your first book? I mean, you've done 27, you said. So how long's that taken?
Well, I first, I started long ago in the late 1990s, mid to late, and I was writing, but I was going to college and living life and doing, day jobs and stuff. So I had written a few before ever publishing. Of course, you have, the stuff that's stuffed under my bed that nobody gets to see because it's so horrible. So it was years, and there was probably, along with going to college to get my degree, there were 10 years of writing off and on and writing stories. So it wasn't until probably 2005 that I really was starting to get more serious about, working harder on the craft and trying to better myself with every book and make the stories more entertaining, So it was
then
probably
you just never stopped. I mean, you've just, from 2005, and we're 2019 now, and you've done that many books. I mean, You must have I don't know if you do pen and paper, but you must be glued to your laptop. One book coming out after another. That's absolutely amazing.
Definitely.
As it is the season to be jolly, let's talk about your latest book in the Deadwood series. It's called Don't Let It Snow in Deadwood. You have one main character in all these books, and her name is Violet Parker. Tell me a little bit about this woman and the plot in this book.
Violet is a real estate agent. She's a single mom and has 2 kids. They're twins, about age 9. And the father's never been in the life. He checked out before she even had the 2. So she's raised them with the help of her family and good friends and aunts and all on her own. So that's kind of the start with when you go back to the very start of the series, the Deadwood series, book 1. That's where you're introduced to Violet. She's moved to this town, Deadwood, where her aunt lives. It's only about a half an hour from where she grew up. And she's trying this new gig as a real estate agent and trying to make money and support her children, and living with her aunt at the same time. So that's kind of where we started, and she's not real good at real estate at first. She struggles. So she takes a lot of hits, she struggles and she has a lot of problems, which is what makes for good, fun entertainment, right? Nobody wants to watch somebody's life or read about somebody who's perfect.
Oh, God, no.
No. So book 10 has taken us through, of course, a lot of stuff has happened, and it's Christmas, and she's getting ready to go back down. I say down because Deadwood's about a mile high up in the Black Hills, back down to Rapid City, which is, they call it down on the prairie, and for her family Christmas, and her sister's going to be there, and she and her sister do not get along, and they never have. Her younger sister's always been jealous of several things Violet had, and Violet's, they're oil and water, so she's really apprehensive to go. Her sister has stolen multiple boyfriends, including the father of Violet's children. She stole away from her, so she's very nervous because she's taking her new boyfriend, who's part of the series, with her, and that's kind of the start, and all the calamity that's going to happen with that. Going back for Christmas, all the stuff we deal with at Christmas with family, good stuff and bad, is kind of in this book. Lots of fun, lots of funny conversations and whatnot going on. So that's the Christmas version of Deadwood. And I try to do different holidays throughout the series. We have holidays that come and go.
Yeah, so you have a Halloween special and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Let's just go back to the first book. I mean, was it a dream? Was it a film you watched? Was it a book you read? Where did the idea for this town, I don't even know if it's fictional, Deadwood, where did the idea come from initially?
Well, Deadwood is actually a real historic town. And in 1879, gold was found up there around that area, and Deadwood came to life, and it was a real rough and rowdy town. And if you go to South Dakota, Deadwood still has a lot of historic building. A lot of it's based on tourism, the income coming in, and gambling now is allowed there, has been there since the 1990s. So they get a lot of people that come for the history of Deadwood. There was Wild Bill Hickok, Calamity Jane was there. All these big, icons of our history spent time there. Wild Bill died there, actually. He was shot there. So that's Deadwood. And my mom and stepfather moved there when I was just in junior high. And I started going there and spending summers and holidays in Deadwood. So I kind of grew up there in Deadwood and enjoyed the histories, was always hanging out at the museums and stuff like that. So when I thought of this story, I was actually visiting my mom in Deadwood. And there's a big gold mine, one of the biggest in the world for a long time. Home State Gold Mine was right there in the sister city, which is 3 miles away. And that had shut down, and it caused, of course, a lot of problems because there's just no jobs for so long. So I had this idea of what would it be like for a single mom with 2 kids to try to survive in this economic environment. what if she was a realtor? What could she do? And how would she just make enough money to, pay for glasses, pay for clothes? So it kind of came about, and at the same time I was pregnant with my second child. So, it would just, I was trying to envision myself trying to survive where there aren't many jobs and there's not a lot of money in the community. So that's kind of how it all started. And it just has ballooned since that. I wrote
really?
I wrote the first book thinking it was going to be a single title initially. But it didn't end that way. It ended with more coming, and it just, with every book, there's so much more that comes, to life, and more possibilities and threads and fun stuff that happens. So it's just been a wonderfully fun series to write.
That's awesome. Let's jump over to this Christmas quiz. Let's get this over and done with. You need to get 3 or more right to win.
The pressure. So much pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so easy. They're very easy questions. Well, that's what I told Christina. Okay, here we go. How do you say Merry Christmas in Spanish?
Feliz Navidad.
Can you sing it for me?
The song? I can. I have a horrible singing voice. Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad.
Oh, beautiful. Perfect. Okay, and the answer is correct. Feliz Navidad. What are the 2 other names for Santa Claus?
Well, there's Saint Nick. There's Santa Claus. Oh, geez. Come on. Oh, Father Christmas. Does that count?
No.
Some people call him Father Christmas. Oh, gosh.
I know it should be what are the 3 names, because everyone knows him as Father Christmas as well. But the answer was Kris Kringle.
Kris Kringle. Oh, yes. Oh, geez.
Okay, here's an easy one. How many reindeers drive Santa's sleigh, including Rudolph?
Oh. Can I have a second? Let me count these on my fingers. There's 9?
Correct. Did you do that song in your head where they go through Rudolph's name?
I was singing the song, yes. I had to. I should know that, but no, I had to sing that one.
Which country is the largest exporter of Christmas trees?
Whew, that's interesting. I would guess Canada?
Oh, thank God you got that right. Correct, it's Canada.
Woohoo!
Which company made the concept of Santa Claus popular worldwide?
Coca-Cola?
That is correct. You're
Woohoo!
on a roll. And this is the last one. Which is the most popular ornament used to place on top of a Christmas tree?
Is it a star?
Oh, no, it's not. It's the angel.
Oh, that was my other guess. I was thinking, oh, darn it.
Well, you only got 2 wrong, so you win. And Author Assist will be contacting you, and we can chat about doing a short video excerpt narration from one of your stories.
Great.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Let's get back and talk more books. Your latest book is from the series, of course, Deadwood, and it's called Deadwood Undertakers.
Right.
You have some exciting new characters in this series. Can you tell me a bit more about them?
Yes, so the Undertaker series came about around book 9 of the main Deadwood series. My husband and I were watching some historic videos about the Old West, and I looked at him and I said, have you ever heard of a woman undertaker in the Old West? And he said, no, I don't think so. And he started talking about it, and I said, I have always wanted to go back in time to when Deadwood, was the gold town in the 1870s, and write a Western. And this would be a great opportunity to have where we can show what happened in Deadwood back then, so that those who have been reading the modern day series will get more answers. It's like a big, long backstory of what happened to the town of Deadwood and how everything that Violet Parker's dealing with in the present day, what was going on way back then that has, come back to life now that Violet's dealing with. So that's kind of how it was born. And my husband, I said, I'd really like to do this, but number one, it takes a lot of research to write historical. Of course, you don't want to just make up stuff. You have to have some.
No, of course not.
Yeah, otherwise the readers will, probably throw tomatoes at you.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't have the time with 4 other series to come up with a 5th and do all the research and do, all that goes into writing. And he said, and my husband's been with me since the beginning of all this, and he said, I'd like to write it with you if you want to give it a try. So that is how Sam Lucky and Ann Charles started writing the series. And I said, okay. And he is amazing. I mean, we've been brainstorming. We've done so much together for so long. He's been there right by my side, as my career has built. So he knows all about story, probably way more than he ever wanted to. So it was really kind of a natural progression for him to just step in and start writing, and that's what he did. So that's what this series, it's how it was born and how why we're writing it together, so that I can continue writing the other books while we're still, and then work with him on this series, which
you have
we actually
something prepared to read for us.
I do, yes. So,
okay,
and the Undertaker's name is Clementine Johansson. So she is the main, she's not, there's 3 main characters in this series. So do you want me to start reading it?
Yes, go ahead, darling.
Okay. And so this is from book 2 in the series, which is coming out around the end of December. Okay. Clementine hesitated for a moment, composing her thoughts and feelings about last night's incident and the news Hank had brought her along with the warm biscuits this morning. She tucked in a few loose tendrils and made sure she had no biscuit crumbs on her face before marching over to the curtain. When she flung it open, the men in the bathtub scrambled to cover their bits with small wash towels. "What in Sam Hill?" Jack yelled, splashing around like a dog. "Close the damn curtain, woman," Boone scowled, wrapping his arms around himself and making a show of shivering. Clementine turned and pulled the curtain closed behind her. A flurry of expletives from both men filled the room. "I meant with you on the outside," Boone growled when she turned back to them. She focused on Jack, who was in the tub on her right. His jaw was covered in blonde stubble, his hair sticking up like crooked gravestones. "Don't worry," she told them, fighting not to grin. "There appears to be just enough bubbles to cover whatever you boys are hiding." Feeling a bit ornery after a night of worrying about them, she glanced at Jack's tub and raised an eyebrow. "Besides, Jack doesn't seem to need many bubbles anyway." The unbruised side of Jack's face crinkled in a frown. "Ha ha. For your information, I happen to have—" He stopped abruptly when she took a step closer to him. Mumbling, he began to gather and pile even more bubbles. "Why do you have the curtain between your 2 bathtubs tied back?" she asked, glancing away to give Jack a moment of privacy. "Are baths a community event where you're from?" She focused on Boone. The grin she'd been holding back broke free. "Would you both be in the same tub if it were big enough?" "Well, aren't you the funny one this morning?" Boone's green eyes crinkled in the corners. He looked at her wool shirt. "Care to join?" "Thank you. I will." She dragged a chair from the other side of the curtain and placed it between the tubs, settling it in near Jack's feet. "Oh, good," Jack said, rearranging his cloth under the water. "Here I was afraid this was going to be a quick visit." And that's my excerpt.
That's funny. I like that. I could really see what was going on there. I love
good.
The lingo as well. I mean, I'm not from that part, but you've got the accent anyway written in your novel, so anyone who reads it can actually feel like they're in that era, if that makes sense. Yeah.
And those are the 3 main characters. They're friends. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. The 2 guys are kind of gunslingers. They were used to they hauled freight and stuff until they came to Deadwood and hooked up with Clementine, and in the battles and what's going on that they're dealing with. So yeah, she's the Undertaker, and those are the other two. So you go back and forth in all three of their heads throughout the stories. Third person.
I was looking on your website and seeing what was coming up, and it's just one book after another coming out. It's like you never stop. I don't know if you've got 3 or 4 books ready to come out because they're sitting there ready, and you're writing your next one. I mean, what's happening now? Are you working on anything new? Are we carrying on with the Deadwood Cemetery series?
Well, Undertaker 2, that's what I just read from. That one's coming out, like I said, at the end of this month. Next, I am currently writing the main Deadwood series, book 11. That's called Devil Days in Deadwood, so that's in the process. I have to take a short break from that to write the 3rd novella in the A.C. Silly Circus series. So I'm doing a project with some other authors, and I have a deadline, so I have to kind of stop and spend the next few weeks writing that next novella. So I'll get that one finished. What was that?
That's good to take a break from what you're doing because it gets you refreshed for when you go back to Deadwood.
Right. And that's really why I do the multiple series. Some people say, oh, hurry up and write the next Deadwood, or hurry up and write the next Jackrabbit book. But I find that I burn out if I stay too long on one. So switching series keeps it exciting for me and making me want to sit down and write more.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, I write in nearly every fiction genre there is. My passion started off with MC thrillers, romances, motorcycle clubs, kind of books. And then I went into fantasy, got totally addicted with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and started writing fantasy. And it all started with short stories like you and novellas, and but it's good to branch out and to get out of your comfort zone as well. Especially when you've got a deadline, you're pressured into doing something that you wouldn't normally do. It's exciting, I think, when you've been doing a series for so long.
I agree. Yeah, it keeps things alive, and I think, as you probably know, if you're not entertained with what you're writing, then the reader won't be entertained with what they're reading. It'll come through. So, key is to keep me wanting to keep writing, so that it makes it more, what comes out even better for the reader.
What would you say is the number one promotion that works for you, marketing your books?
Oh boy, that's tough. I do so many different things. Of course, there's the BookBub pushes over the years that have really helped grow audiences, or my audience. But in addition, I have a lot of help from my readers, who with every book we form a promo team, and a street team, and they really help me reach new readers that I couldn't, because there's nothing like word-of-mouth marketing.
Oh, no, exactly. It's okay for an author to say, oh, my book's amazing, go out and buy it, read it, you'll love it. But to actually hear it from someone who's read the book, it makes a big, big difference. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you use the same team throughout all of your books, the same promoter, the same cover designer, the same editor?
Do I keep the same team for those?
Yes. Keep the same team?
For the most part. Over time, editors have come and gone, and graphic artists have come and gone. My cover artist has been the same. That's my brother. He also does my illustrations.
Wow.
We've been in it from the start together. And then my husband has been, like I said, behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff from the start.
It's a family affair.
Very much so, yes. Before anyone new is allowed into the family, we have to see what skills they have that they can offer. I'm kidding,
I love that.
We joke about that.
So Anne, where can everyone find your books online, and where are you on social media?
Okay, online you can find me at Amazon, Kobo, Nook, Apple iBooks, as well as I go through several library outlets, Overdrive and others via Smashwords. So we're spread pretty wide.
Good.
And you can find me. My website is AnnCharles.com. I am at Ann@AnnCharles.com for emails. And then I'm on Facebook as Ann Charles Author, and I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. All of those are usually Ann Charles Author or something. So most of the social media outlets as well. I'm there more than I probably should be, because I should be writing faster. But I like to interact.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're a self-published author. I mean, we need to write, we need to get our books out, but we also need to let people know about our books and to make sales. I mean, you've got to split yourself into two. It's multitasking at the worst, because it's finding the time to even do one is hard enough without having to try and do both.
Yeah, and then there's those kids I have. They just keep wanting to be around me. I don't understand, but they like me still. So I keep waiting for that.
Christmas coming.
Yeah, I keep waiting for the romance to go away, but they just keep staying on and wanting to do stuff. So, I'm kidding. They're great. They've learned over. I mean, they've grown up with this, so they know this is the business.
Yeah.
And we have a